What's good, YouTube? The first 2 days of NBA free agency is upon us, and let's just say a lot went down, okay? We're going to talk about exactly what happened, breaking down every single blockbuster move that took place, because I know it's a lot to keep up with, but I'm here to help you find out exactly what happened, which teams won, which teams lost, because there are some clear losers and some absolute winners. Without further ado, we're going to get straight into it. I'm not going to be able to cover every single team, but I am talking about the main deals that did take place. We're covering a good majority of teams, so let's go. The Houston Rockets went ahead and had an already amazing offseason. But then they go ahead and say, you know what? We're not done yet. I thought they already had the floor of being a Western Conference Finals team. I thought that they were title contenders. And yesterday they go ahead and sign Dorian Finney-Smith and Clint Capela. As if our front court could not get any better, as if our offensive rebounding could not get any better, they go ahead and sign Clint Capela and a shooter in Dorian Finney-Smith, which the Rockets so desperately need, a nice 3-and-D wing, and on top of that, Clint Capela, I mean, come on, bro, an absolute lob threat. That was another thing this team was missing. They don't really have a lob presence. There you go. The Rockets are scary, and if you are a Western Conference team, your favorite team is a Western Conference team, you should be worried because, bro, I can't lie, all bias aside, I think the Rockets are going to win a championship. But, I have to get that out the way. Now we're going to talk about the other teams. But I think the Rockets are absolute winners of this NBA free agency period, this trade period, and everything that's gone down in the offseason. The Rockets have been doing absolute dubs lately. Next up, I was just chilling at work today, right? I was just maybe 11 o'clock, just minding my business, trying to get through my day. And I look at my phone and I see Miles Turner has signed with the Bucks. And my mind was absolutely blown. I can't lie, bro. If I was a Pacers fan, this is the biggest heartbreak I would have felt, well, since last week. But, oh my gosh, bro. This shit, I would be in pain, dude. That is like your favorite player, your longest tenured player with the Pacers going to your rival team? What? Not only that, but the Bucks decided to cut Damian Lillard. And now we don't even know what's really going on, bro. This whole Bucks situation has turned into a spiral. Does this make Giannis want to stay? Bro, if you're Giannis, if you can hear me, if you're watching this video, bro, do not stay. Your starting lineup is Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent Jr., Kyle Kuzma, you yourself, amazing Hall of Fame player, and then Miles Turner, who's an absolute bucket, defensive presence, really good player. But look at the rest of the team, bro. You got Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent Jr., Kyle Kuzma. That's your... Bro, what? You're not going to win a championship with Kyle Kuzma as your third best player. If I was Giannis, I'm requesting a trade tomorrow because why would you cut Damian Lillard? You could have went around and tried to do something just which makes more sense. I mean, you saw what Jrue Holiday, the Boston Celtics were able to get Anfernee Simons. Are you telling me that Jrue Holiday was traded for 1 year, 1.5 years of Damian Lillard? Following that, with just him getting cut, he got traded for nothing? Bro, if I'm a Bucks fan, I low-key don't know how to feel about the situation. There has to be a second move because there's no way this is your only attempt to get Giannis to stay. There has to be something else in the mix here, or Giannis is getting dealt. I have no idea, bro. This was just not it, dude. I feel like they could have gone about the situation so much better. We don't know where Dame's going to end up quite yet, but just know when he does, I will be dropping a video on that. Dame, though, I mean, he seems like the type of guy who will immediately sign with a new team because he's a free agent now. He can sign with pretty much just about anyone. And I don't know exactly who he'd go with, but I know teams are probably ringing up his line like crazy. Man, what if the Rockets pull out something crazy? But I don't know. It's possible. But man, if you're a Pacers fan, this absolutely sucks what Miles Turner did to you. I mean, we'll go into a rival team. You're the longest tenured player. You were just one game away from winning the NBA championship, and you leave. And I don't know, dude. I don't know. Maybe it's the Pacers' fault for not wanting to go into that luxury tax. You know, the Pacers' general manager not wanting to go into that to give Miles Turner the money that he honestly rightfully deserves. But at the same time, this shit, it does suck, you know. I don't know how to feel. If you are a Pacers fan, let me know down below how you're feeling about the situation. Things have been hectic. Next up, bro, I ain't gonna lie, the Nuggets have been watching my videos. Because I literally talked about a step-by-step guide on what the Nuggets should be doing. They should show you I'm the best GM on YouTube, right? Like, come on. I've had some pretty good takes. Come on. I said that the Nuggets should try to bring back Bruce Brown, and they did. And on top of that, I said that they should try to trade Michael Porter Jr. and upgrade at a better player at his position, which they did. And I honestly like this trade for both teams, for the Brooklyn Nets, who have just been making stupid moves this whole offseason in the draft and everything that's conspired. But this was a W move. Michael Porter Jr. is going to be out there in that locker room absolutely geeked. I know damn well Michael Porter Jr. had the entire... I know damn well he was spinning some crazy conspiracy theories to Jokic. Jokic, what you happen to Epstein, bro? Like, I know y'all seen that. Shit. They got Cam Johnson, absolute W pickup. Michael Porter Jr., I know he's going to be putting up the most stat-padded numbers. He's going to be putting on, like, 30 points per game off, like, 26% from the field. But I'm here for it, bro. I might watch a Brooklyn Nets game or two just to see Michael Porter Jr. But Cam Johnson is an absolute W pickup for the Denver Nuggets because what they get is a player that has the same, pretty much identical numbers for Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Johnson. The only thing is Cam Johnson is just more effective and he takes a higher volume of shots. He was with the Brooklyn Nets, so obviously he was able to make more, he was able to make his own shots. He was more of a shot creator in that. He was able to get the ball off the dribble, whatever he wanted to do. You know, he was the main facilitator of that offense. He could do whatever he want. Now he's going to be going to an offense where Nikola Jokic is going to get you wide open. All you got to do is just stand there, bro, roam around a bit. The ball will end up in your hands. And he is definitely more efficient than Michael Porter Jr. has been as of late. I think that this is going to just be an easy fit, in my personal opinion. Cam Johnson, all you got to do is just make your shots. That's it. We're not asking you to be a crazy, ridiculous scorer. Just get 16 points per game, good efficiency, and just shoot the ball whenever Jokic gets it to you. And I think that that's all the Nuggets really needed. They needed a good hustle player because they lost that in Bruce Brown, and I believe every single championship-level team should have that. I mean, you see that with Alex Caruso, Derek White. Every single team needs a hustle player, that glue guy. They got that back with Bruce Brown Jr., and now Cam Johnson is a better shooter, upgraded efficiency. Man, they've had a W offseason. I like what the Nuggets are cooking out there. Next up, this is another absolute winner of the NBA offseason, and I'm so genuinely impressed by what the Hawks general manager, their entire front office has done. Because first things first, they got Kristaps Porzingis for a bag of Doritos. Like, I shit you not, bro. These guys literally traded for Kristaps, and all they gave up was a bag of Doritos and Deuce Tatum's V-Bucks. Because there's no way they just got Kristaps Porzingis for like 2 second-round picks, bro. And Georges Niang, who ain't nobody on Boston's roster even likes Georges Niang. But he's there. He's there. I mean, I don't know how that's going to work in the locker room with how they be treating him because it's rough out there. But yeah, dude, like, I mean, I get it, though. I understand there was a salary dump that the Boston Celtics just needed to make. They were paying Kristaps way too much money for him not to play. And honestly, dude, we don't even know if Kristaps is going to play another game of basketball. But with what the Hawks gave up, they could roll on that gamble, you know. They could take that risk. So they got Kristaps Porzingis, which, if healthy, is going to be a massive, massive improvement to the Hawks' front court. Just being an absolute crazy lob threat to Trae Young and just being able to stretch the floor. I think if he's healthy, I wouldn't be surprised if the Hawks somehow go on a crazy West Conference Finals, maybe even Finals run, bro, with how open the East is. You're going to be seeing a lot of Eastern Conference teams just make like small little moves, not for all-star players, but all-star caliber players who may have not even been all-stars in the first place, like a Desmond Bane, like a Kristaps Porzingis. I'm not sure if he has been an all-star or not, but you're going to see that like level of like fringe all-star players being traded to these Eastern Conference teams in an attempt to make the finals because there ain't going to be no Boston, there ain't going to be no Indiana. It's absolutely wide open. So not only that, but the Hawks get the 2026 pick from the New Orleans Pelicans, which is like a best of a pick between like the Magic, the Bucks, and the Pelicans, which, bro, the Pelicans have been so dookie for like the past 5 years, bro. They had like a 20 wins this past season, and they moved up 10 spots in the draft. I think they got what did they get? Derek Queen in that situation? But now they have to make the playoffs next season, or else this pick could be a top 5 pick. It might even win the lottery, bro. So an absolute steal that the Hawks front office was somehow able to finesse the New Orleans Pelicans for this. They got robbed. What were the Pelicans thinking, bro? This could be a lottery winning pick. So great move on that aspect for the Hawks. They might even end up with another top 3 pick. They won the lottery last season too to pick up Zachary Ricochet. They might do it again. And then in another sort of a shocker, because a lot of people expected Nickeil Alexander-Walker to be talking to a bunch of different teams. I don't know if Atlanta was like the top place for him to end up being, but he signs there. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker is a great pickup, a defensive guard, or matter of fact, he's a defensive wing who's able to provide so much just from the playmaking aspect of it, from the shooting aspect of it, from just the cutting, and he's just such a good glue guy. And I love this for the Atlanta Hawks because he's going to be able to elevate your second unit so much that when your second unit is running guys like Zachary Ricochet right after Dyson Daniels and Jalen Johnson are coming off, and dude, I don't know, there's just so many options that they have. I mean, this team is absolutely stacked. If we're talking about like from a young team's perspective, they got Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, who just won Defensive Player of the Year, Nickeil Okongwu, and man, I really like what the Hawks are building over here. I think that I wouldn't even be surprised to go on a conference finals run. Do it again. I wouldn't even be surprised to go on a finals run. I like this a lot for the Hawks. Next up, the Memphis Grizzlies got Ty Jerome, which I think is a massive pickup. I don't know how the fit is going to be on that team, though, because they still have John Morant running the point guard, and Ty Jerome is clearly a point guard. Is he going to come off the bench? Is he going to run the 2? What are they going to do out there? They still got guys like Gigi Jackson on the team. They got Scottie Pippen Jr. They got Cole Anthony now in that Desmond Bane trade. There's a lot of people that they have at the guard position, so I don't know how they're going to work it out. I'm guessing that Ty Jerome is probably going to run the 2. I really like this for them, bro. I don't know what they are going to be in the Western Conference, though, because it is so absolutely stacked. Are they going to try to make another move with this? I know Jaren Jackson just signed a huge extension, well-deserved. Are they going to try to move John Morant? Maybe try to get a superstar like a Giannis Antetokounmpo on this team? Maybe try to even shock the league and go for a LeBron James trade? I mean, I don't even know, bro. LeBron's been talking hot lately. We're going to get to the Lakers real soon, but LeBron has been talking real hot about Rich Paul, and I don't know, it's a whole bunch of stuff going on. We're going to talk about it. But the Grizzlies, I like this for them. You know, it gives them more flexibility. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't know how it's going to work, but I think it's an absolute good pickup. Quickly, I just want to touch on the Boston Celtics. I know we already talked about Kristaps' deal, but with the trade for Jrue to get Anthony Simons, and then on top of that, them losing Al Horford, just stings, dude. And I know that the direction that they're going in is probably going to be tanking for this season, potentially trying to get a top pick in next year's draft. I know they got a AJ Dibesta coming off next year's draft, and he's going to be a highly touted prospect. But it's just got to hurt seeing that like your entire team is just broken up, and now all that consists of it is Derek White, Jaylen Brown, and injured Jason Tatum and Peyton Pritchard. I mean, Grant Williams is off the team, Robert Williams is off the team, and just everyone else who was on that championship-winning team, because those guys left before that, is just gone. And now it's just like, damn, what happened to Boston, you know? It stings. It really does sting, you know, especially seeing Uncle Al leave. I know if you're a Boston Celtics fan, that sucks, dude. But they're going to be back. I know they're just kind of retooled, not really a rebuild. And that once Tatum's back, I'm sure they're going to be back into title contention next year. And I mean, Brad Stevens, he's an absolute phenomenal GM. Since he's taken the front office position, he's been doing nothing but getting bangers on bangers. I think that the Boston Celtics are going to be just fine. But now I want to talk about a team that I don't think is going to be just fine, and I'm genuinely concerned about them because they have not made any moves yet, and I'm scared. Because I'm a LeBron fan. I really like Bron. And with the Lakers, it's doing absolutely nothing. Like, bro, I feel like the Lakers forgot that free agency started. I feel like somebody did not tell the Lakers, yo, by the way, have your phone ready. Because these players I feel like Rob Pelinka was just on vacation in Cancun and just picked up his phone. It was on D&D. And the new owners still have yet to get his number. And they haven't been able to tell him, bro, make some moves. Because they've just been sitting ducks. They've been letting the Rockets bully them. The Rockets took DFS, and they're like, okay, okay, we need a center. We need a center. And then they went ahead and took Clint Capela, which was a name that was heavily rumored with the Los Angeles Lakers. And now I've heard talks, bro. I saw a rumor, and I saw it this morning, and I couldn't believe my eyes. It said that it was the Lakers who are going after DeAndre Ayton, and if they cannot get DeAndre Ayton, then they're going to go after DeAndre Jordan. in the Big 25, they're going to go after DeAndre Jordan. Like, yeah, bro, let's bring back the Lob City Lakers, bro. Let's make it the Lob City Lakers, dude. Oh, my gosh, bro. The Lakers are down bad right now, and they desperately need to make a move, and they better hope that DeAndre Ayton is choosing them and not the Pacers because, bro, if the Pacers somehow steal DeAndre Ayton, the Lakers are done, man. Oh, my gosh. And I don't really understand what they're doing with this whole Luka Doncic situation because they're talking about how they're going to wait until 2027 to actually find a superstar to play with Luka Doncic when you literally have LeBron James on your team. You either trade him and try to get something out of that, some value out of that, where you can maybe get a young player as more of like a trade asset that you can use to leverage yourself to get a star soon, or you try to run it with LeBron and try to build as good of a team as you possibly can. And I feel like they just don't even know what direction they want to go in. Look, if you really desperately want to wait until 2027 to get that max spot, trade LeBron, bro. Go get yourself a nice young player because the last thing you want is for Luka to be upset and him to sign somewhere else and for Nico Harrison to look like an absolute genius in this situation. The Lakers need to make a move. It is desperation hours for Rob Pelinka. You better do something, bro. Get off your phone. Get on the plane from Cancun to LA and get in the front office, bro, because you got to do something. Next up, we got the Dallas Mavericks picking up D'Angelo Russell, Mr. Inefficient himself, but they had to do it. Kyrie Irving is going to be out at least until the playoffs, and they need someone to help them make the playoffs. And when you have a guy like Anthony Davis, you can't just sit around. And when you have a generational talent like Cooper Flagg on your team, you have the makings of a championship contender already in year one. And if Kyrie can come back, and if they're probably around like the 6th seed, this is a real dark horse contender. D'Angelo Russell helps with that. I know that D'Angelo is going to be able to do his best impression at pissing off Mavericks fans as much as he can, because he's either going to be the best player on your team or he's going to be the worst player on your team, but there's no in between. You're going to have some nights where D'Angelo Russell looks like the second coming to Steph Curry, and you're going to have some nights where D'Angelo Russell looks like Killian Hayes. No joke. There's no in between. But they needed to do this because they have a good foundation, and they genuinely could be title contenders. I like this pickup for the Mavs. Quickly, we're going to go over the Knicks, picking up Jordan Clarkson as a good backup guard, and I think that this is a good move, a step in the right direction. Jordan Clarkson has been time in and time out a 6th Man of the Year candidate, and he finally got out that hellhole that is Utah, which Ace Bailey has just been trying so desperately hard to run away from. Jordan Clarkson finally escaped Alcatraz. Alcatraz in Salt Lake City. Jordan Clarkson is in the New York Knicks, and this is a good pickup. They needed some more pressure, more presence off the bench. Miles McBride was really their only offensive threat coming off the bench. This was a step in the right direction. I like this for the Knicks, and especially in a conference where the East is so wide open, this could be the piece to really elevate you. We've seen players that go from really bad teams to good teams, and they're able to give really good production in the playoffs, and oftentimes it's those players we look back at and be like, damn, that's the reason why they won a championship. This could be that player for the New York Knicks. I mean, you saw what happened with Derek White. Derek White is a special case, though. He's one of the best role players of all time, but you see what I'm trying to say here, though. Jordan Clarkson could have that minimal impact that is just enough now in this weekend Eastern Conference to take the Knicks over the edge, to reach the NBA Finals, and potentially win it. This was a really good move by the Knicks. Next up, we're going to talk about the Detroit Pistons picking up Caris LeVert and Duncan Robinson. This is going to be the last one we're going to talk about for today, but I think that this makes so much sense for Detroit. They needed a player who's going to be able to be a 3-and-D wing. Duncan Robinson is that. He finally left Miami. I don't even know what's going on in Miami, bro. Pat Riley doesn't know what's going on in Miami. Neither does Bam. Neither does Tyler Hero. I'm glad he got out of there. Detroit is in that mode, as you can see from these plays and these free agency moves that they've done so far. They genuinely think that they could win an NBA championship, and I don't blame them for it because they're in. Once again, I think I've repeated a million times in this video, the East is just that wide open. And there's 3 teams which haven't found much success within the last 3 years in the Detroit Pistons, in the Atlanta Hawks, in the Orlando Magic, which I would not be surprised if they end up going on a championship run and end up being in the NBA Finals because of the situation that is in the East. And you can see why Detroit is trying to make these type of moves because they're right at the cusp of it. They are a top 5 team in the East. Without a doubt, they're a top 4 team as well. The Detroit Pistons are right around the corner for a championship push, and I'm absolutely here for it. But if you're still here, just know I appreciate you. I know this is one of my longer videos, but without making one of yesterday's day of free agency, I thought today I'd make one with just an overall grasp of free agency. We're yet to see the situation unfold with the Bucks, so I will be coming up with more updates, more videos on that. Let me know down below what type of videos you want to see from me with the next coming few days. I will definitely be dropping a video on the Damian Lillard situation, whatever the Lakers end up doing. But if there's more specified, more specific videos that you want to see from me, please feel free to let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Take care.